Before you go is when our hearts get separated. Crash and burn is all I ever know. I can't try to replace this feeling. I close my eyes and it's you that I'm seeing. One more thing before you go. One more thing before you go.
What's going on YouTube? Good morning. It is currently about, I would guess, 11:58. It's 12:04 right now, and I just finished up about 2 to 3 hours of work at the Starbucks right here at Crystal Cove. I went to go to my normal one in Corona Del Mar, but it was way too busy, and I don't usually start work this early. I started at like 9:30 or 10, but I figured I'd come by here, see if this was chill, and thankfully I had a really good spot at the table, and actually met somebody who knew me through the industry that needs help with social media, so got another client because I came here, which coincidentally that worked out perfectly. Today's a beautiful day. I have a lot planned. This car goes on the dyno today at VF Engineering, and I'm anxious to find out what kind of power it puts down, so let's go. Thanks. So we made it over to VF Engineering, and they actually have this company called Hex Tuning that they're a part of, and also obviously VF Engineering for the supercharger kits, and they're very well known for doing the supercharger kits on mostly like European German cars. Obviously my M3 is here for it. Today we're going to do a tune on my car and show you the difference between stock versus the tune and kind of the basics behind what the tune does and how it operates and how you install it too. A nice Porsche in here, Carrera 4S, got an Audi R8. This is the one that they redeveloped, the brand new supercharger kit for the previous one. Got a Lime Rock, a real Lime Rock right there. Nice little 6-speed manual. That's a real carbon roof too. I have that spoiler, which is supposed to go on my car too. It's at my house. Then you have an M4. You can see here, this is a Mustang dyno, Hex Tuning, and then this is the dyno we'll run my car on. So this is 4-wheel drive, this is 2-wheel drive.
So I'm gonna program it back to stock, do a couple of runs.
But just the idea right now is just get baseline testing done first.
Yeah.
Okay, just to see where it's at.
Yep.
And then you can see the improvement you make after the tune.
After the tune.
Okay. So this is just a baseline test. We're gonna do it with the exhaust valves closed, and then we'll do some with it open to see if there's any like back pressure difference or if it gives it any more or less power. So you say you're just calibrating the dyno. What does that mean exactly?
So I had to calibrate the road speed so I could get RPM measurement.
Okay.
That'll allow me to get torque readings.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's all calibrated now. It's gonna double check the straps.
Okay.
Double check the fans, and we'll do a few
Cool.
runs.
So he was just calibrating the dyno, which means making sure that everything is prepared to do some runs, because these dynos can go up, I think, probably 100+ miles an hour, obviously, just to make sure the straps are good, the cooling is fine, the car is ready to go, just so hopefully it doesn't fly off.
So usually I don't count the first run, it's still adapting.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be around that area, about 320.
That run sounded awesome. Holy shit.
So it's pretty consistent so far. I mean, you can see it's almost the same.
So you're looking at about 320 consistently back to back.
I'll do one more.
Holy crap. That is so loud.
Yeah, it's nearly identical.
Yeah.
That's why I said I don't count the first run. But you can see that the next two are pretty spot on.
Yeah, consistent. Was that exhaust open or closed?
That was still closed.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, 320 throughout, over and over. Do you think with the exhaust open it would make any difference?
With any cars, it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Sometimes with the supercharger or turbo.
More reason to go supercharger then. Okay, this one is with the exhaust open, with the valves open all the way, so it's going to be a lot louder. Yeah, there we go.
much better. Hopefully you guys can hear that okay.
Oh wow, look at that.
344. Wow. So that was a 20 horsepower gain exactly. That's not bad. Just pressing one button and actually 20 horsepower? Wow.
So shout out to Vince over at IPE. I didn't know this would give me that much more power. Baseline was 322. Then with the exhaust open was, I believe, 344. So 20 extra horsepower with the push of one button to open up my exhaust. Man, that is so cool.
Nobody's even seen this yet.
That's brand new?
So
can I release that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. So that's a new design for what you guys are offering for the tuning.
Okay. So I think a lot of people are going to wonder like why the car makes less horsepower than what it says online or from the manufacturer. And a lot of cars, they say a high number and then you go to dyno it and it's a little bit confusing. So I'm going to have Gary here kind of explain how it works and why the dyno reads a little bit differently than what manufacturers actually say.
Automakers are advertising power at the crank. They're advertising the power that the engine is actually capable of producing. So they're measuring that on what's called an engine dyno, where the engine is actually standalone, it's not in a car. So it has all the fluids and everything going to it, and they're actually measuring the power of the car at the flywheel. The way that we measure these cars is on a chassis dyno, so we're actually measuring wheel horsepower. So we're measuring the amount of power that the engine is generating as it transitions through the drivetrain and to the ground. So the actual force that's going to propel the car forward versus just the amount of force that the engine can produce on its own.
Okay,
so that's the big discrepancy is automakers are advertising crank horsepower and we're advertising wheel horsepower.
It's basically showing real road condition versus an engine being on a dyno itself.
Yeah, absolutely, because there's a thing called drivetrain loss, and everybody has these kind of factors that they equate to drivetrain loss. Some people say, oh, a two-wheel drive car should have 10% drivetrain loss or 15%. The only way to actually validate those numbers is to measure the actual engine power and then measure the wheel power and actually see what the factor is. Every car is a little bit different. There's not many tuners in the world, especially in the aftermarket world, that are actually measuring power on an engine dyno. It actually requires removing the engine from the car in order to do that. So that's why you don't see actual crank horsepower numbers being advertised by manufacturers. We usually have to apply a conversion factor to it and estimate those numbers.
Okay. Know what that filter looks like. I think that's from brand new.
No, that's
a little dirty.
A little bit of history behind it. That looks much better. I didn't know you guys had these on your own.
the stock filters are great when they're brand new, but they filter incredibly well, which means they pick up everything, which means they don't stay clean forever.
Yeah, so you have to either clean them or get them replaced. Definitely looks a lot better.
Now what we have planned is we're going to do the tune. So the car was at stock on those last few dyno runs. Stock motor, stock everything, nothing done to the car. We're going to install the tune from VF into the car and kind of see how much the gains are and the difference between stock versus the VF Engineering tune.
So this is Hex Flash programming application.
Okay.
We use this for all of our kits from E46s all the way up to the new F80s. All of this could be downloaded from our website.
So the baseline tune or the baseline information was sent in to your guys inside.
Yep.
And then what did they do exactly with that?
They modified the file, made some changes.
All the information that they have, they went through and they decoded it and they made their own tune for it.
Yep.
And that's how they custom tune.
Yep.
Then they send it back to you and then you install it.
Yep.
And anyone can do this.
Yep. We'll ship you a cable.
Okay.
You just download the Hex Flash program, connect it to your car, read the ECU. It's going to generate a read file, send it over to us. We'll give it to the software engineers. They'll decode it, modify it, back to you.
So it's just plug and play?
Yep.
That's easy. Tune is installed successfully. Now let's go ahead and see what the car can make. Keep in mind, they just wrote this whole tune in-house in like 25-30 minutes, and all the information from the car was sent into them when we downloaded it. So we have the baseline power. Now we have the new tune installed. Now let's go ahead and see what the car will make after the full tune. I'm excited. 355. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So you're probably wondering what the car made as far as horsepower. Here it is. Now you know the numbers. The car, as Gary said in the video, the power that shows on these dynos are for wheel power, not the engine power. So if you have the engine on a dyno, it's an engine dyno. If you have a car on a normal dyno, it's the power to the wheels. So it's completely different for the power numbers, that you shouldn't focus so much on being like, oh, I have 450 horsepower. It's more of like, I gained like 10 to 20 horsepower and a bunch of torque just from a tune on an NA motor, which for me, I feel it a ton. My throttle response is way better. The car feels like it's running cleaner. It feels healthier. I put 91 octane in it from Shell. That's the only gas that I like to use. And it feels great. So the car to me, for that kind of price, justifies exactly what it does, because it makes your driving experience so much better and the car just feels so much healthier, like I said. So VF Engineering, thank you so much. Gary, Mike, Nick, you guys are awesome. I'm sure I'll see you guys again for more power very, very soon.
we have a brand new Chevy Tahoe LTZ Gold package, so our lifetime warranty, and also for paint correction and our actual interior ceramic coating.
So you can coat interiors too?
Yeah, we can coat leather, we can coat the plastics, we can coat carpets, and basically what that's going to do is it's going to make the interior surfaces hydrophobic. So say you have a pen in your pocket and it leaks all over your nice tan leather. Instead of immediately staining that like it normally would, you have time to grab a towel and wipe it up very easily without a stain. Same with a carpet. Say you spill your coffee in the morning, it's going to pool up on top and you have a chance to wipe it up before it stains your carpet. So it's making everything hydrophobic.
Gotcha, okay, and you can also do wheels too, from what I saw.
So we put a wheel and caliper on wheels. That's what the Ceramic Pro product is called. We use an airbrush so that we can reach into all the cracks and crevices around the lug nuts, depending on whether we take the wheels off, if we're doing a full wheel with the barrel included, or if we're just doing the faces. And what that does, when you airbrush it, it adds about 19 to 20 microns of thickness on top of your wheels. So you have a nice thick shield protecting you from brake dust. It doesn't make you invincible to brake dust, but it sure as hell makes it a hell of a lot easier to clean.